So, Trung, let's go into the might of Cosmic Soul Herder and how often do we see this? Not often, but talk about a value deck, right?
Oh yeah, just like Soul Hoarder, getting that new card Cosmic Rebirth from Martial Machine Aftermath, essentially just being able to return anything that's 3 or less in play, or just a regrowth at instant speed. Um, just getting to either loop Time Warps Infinitely Eternal Witness, Soul Hoarder, just drawing a whole bunch of cards with Wall of Omens and Ice Fang Coatl. You got your Ephemerates, Wall of Blossoms, just like kind of just an infinite value draw, blinky, blink, blink, blink.
Yeah,
deck.
we've seen similar decks in the past that, used Eternal Witness and some amount of Ephemerate to kind of just leverage value, right?
Yeah.
You just kind of go off forever, never losing things. Now this is just a more updated take on that with the addition of Cosmic Rebirth, really pushing the value engine to about, 150 plus.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You cannot stop this once it gets going. And there's a lot of parts to it. Some of them a little more mild than others. You're not too scared of a Wall of Omens per se, but of Wall of Omens drawing 2 cards thanks to Elishnorn,
Yeah.
or stuff of that nature. Solitude's all of a sudden getting to Exile 2 thing. Like it scales very quickly.
And then doing it again with Soul Hoarder, doing
yeah.
it again for Ephemerate,
And
just
Soul Herder already being out, and then you're sitting there as the opponent going, "Do I try to kill this thing now? Do they have the Ephemerate?"
Yeah.
Like it's just there's a lot of tricksy positions that it puts the opponent in as to how and when to answer threats. That can just make it a difficult deck to play against, depending on your deck of choice for the day.
yeah, especially with Elishnorn just kind of running around in the format nowadays, shutting off a lot of different cards. All the pitch elementals.
Oh.
Yeah.
And it looks like
Coming
we're
up here.
zooming into game 1. Now, we know Trung Cosmic Herder, we're calling it, and our friend Aiden here on 4-color creativity. Pretty standard deck in the format right now in terms of creativity list. Now, I will say Aiden's a little spicy, as we noticed that he had 2 bitter reunions in the main
Yeah.
deck, which I don't think is typical, at least from what I've seen. I've seen it pop up a little bit in like Pioneer standard lists for Reanimator-esque strategies. A Hasty Attracts is pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad. And it's enchantment, so you just search for that, and you usually not a whole lot of other enchantments in Pioneer, but so you get game 1 going here. See if we get some keeps over here. Looks like both shipping back. They did not like either of those hands, so
Yeah. You don't feel too bad about the mulligan when your opponent joins you.
yeah.
Then you're like, you know what? I hope we both go down.
Yeah. It's like, if I have to mulligan, I'm taking you with me.
Then you're like, hoping it only happens when you're on the draw. It's not as bad. On the play, it feels a little awkward.
Yeah, new mulligan rule definitely helps a lot, though. Feels a lot less bad.
It's funny to call it new, and it's been around
Yeah,
for a while now.
for a while.
But in the terms of Magic, in the grand scheme of things, it is still new,
Newish.
new adjacent. But yeah, and it's funny because we were thankful when we got to Scry. We're like, oh,
we get the Scry, amazing.
yeah. And now all of a sudden it's like, oh, you just get to choose.
Yeah, so good. All right, let's see if we can get
We got some
hands
keeps.
here. Yeah,
Got some
looks like
keeps.
Tron's going to be keeping here.
Now, I will say, both decks kind of circling around, getting some value out of their creatures, Aiden through, Archon of Cruelty really pushing one creature to the max. And Cosmic Herder, it's a little bit about pushing all the creatures to the max.
Yeah. I'm going to get my value from my creature multiple times.
But we see one of the more solid starts you could have after, a mulligan. Turn 1 Noble Hierarch, which opens up a solid turn 2 play of 3 mana, which could be a Soul Herder immediately. Now, not necessarily getting a ton of all, and immediately biting the dust and
Bolt the bird.
wiping away any chance of a fancy start. But that's okay. That's okay. We're in it for the long haul.
Yeah. So far, we got a bunch of alternate border cards here. So we got the pretty steam vents, and
Yeah, it's pretty nice looking
Sean's gonna go in
deck
and
over
fetch.
here.
I guess Sean's kind of just gonna sit here and just kind of play the waiting game. Let's see if we can
Yeah.
uh, try to get some boards set up here before we go for that creativity.
Now I would argue, and I don't know if you'd say the same, but I think in a long game, Trung would probably be favored.
Oh yeah, yeah. How
just-
much draw and
Like Solitude
interaction.
eats Archon and takes away the persist plan of, you know, that's a very fancy Ice Fang
Ooh,
Quaddle.
that's a good card.
Looks like a secret lair to me,
Yeah.
but pretty cool. And again, this is how Trung kind of builds back up, right? He definitely has the deck that can mulligan a little bit more aggressively and really build back quickly because a lot of his cards have the additional effect of just drawing another card.
Yeah.
As us blue players like to do.
Yeah.
It's basically winning the game. If you're
Drawing
drawing extra
cards.
if you're drawing extra cards, that's just winning, right? That's all you need to do.
Yeah. Let's see a second Quaddle here. Looks like Trunks maybe just trying to get.
I
Some
think he's just showing off now.
later. Yeah.
They are very cool. I don't know what color that's from, but that's really cool.
The same one with Hex Drinker. And I was going to go in and.
Mm.
Presume this is during end step, so I wonder what the Dom's going to get here. Yeah, something for 3 that he's looking to cast.
Maybe a Prismaric Command?
Ooh, yeah, that'd be a good one.
Because I don't think he has too many other options outside of that.
Yeah.
Now, Prismaric commands, you know, usually facilitating getting a treasure out, maybe the draw discard, maybe the, 2 damage, we'll see, but I expect to see a treasure and something else, yeah. So, treasure
See that go off.
and kill one of your guys is probably the modes he chose here, we'll see. But I see him grabbing at cards that makes me think he's grabbing a treasure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Which, again, I mean, you need something to creativity, and that something can be a dwarf, a little dwarf token off your
dwarf,
Dwarven Mines, or it could just be a shiny treasure. Or
Or dog shell.
sometimes you just use the treasure because you need it.
Yeah.
You know? But I'm pretty sure he has the creativity in hand, so it's a good chance that he could actually go for it. Now, he probably wants to wait just because with Fable he gets another chance here. He gets to have a shaman as a target. He gets the treasure, which means that if he gets to go to combat next turn,
Yeah.
make another treasure.
Oh, yeah.
That's just
It has
so
to
much
go up.
value. Like, Trunk can definitely deal with a handful of cards, out of just like 1 Archon. Can he deal with 2 to 3 Archons at the same time? Having to discard his entire hand?
Yeah. Well, see if he. I believe he does have an Elishnorn, so.
I actually
He
think
will
he
be
has
able
the
to.
Solitude and clearly the Ephemerate. So,
I think we're gonna see Land probably fetch Elishnorn here, and then just kind of go ahead.
yeah.
Go ahead in creativity if you want.
Yeah, which Elishnorn, pretty good answer.
Yeah.
Archons are big.
Yeah. Kind of have to wait for them to stick around. I don't think that he's gonna be looking to let him attack with those Archons though. With that Solitude. If he does
Yeah,
play that
which
Elishnorn here
the
and just snipe him
ETB
off.
trigger doesn't have, but the Archon attacking trigger would still happen, yes, because that's just the way Elishnorn's worded. So, as long as they don't get haste, he
Yeah.
should be okay.
Yeah. See if you see one of those bidder reunions pop up here. That might
Yeah.
be pretty good because I don't know if he has enough mana to do it all though.
I would be surprised because obviously we need at least 4 to creativity for 1, which he can do. He can attack. I mean, he knows an attack with the Goblin Shaman is going to kill the Shaman though. Like, there's
Yeah.
no reasonable way that Trung doesn't block with Elishnorn because I mean, there's no way to kill her. Well, she's a 4/7. But we're not expecting the
She's
creativity
big
deck
here.
to have a damage spell that's gonna do anything.
Yeah, I mean in theory Undone could get this creativity for 1 here.
Mhm.
Getting 1 dude if he does have a bidder reunion, maybe he'll have enough mana to play and cast, but it's not looking good because those Ice Fang Quaddles have Death Touch now. He's got those 3 snow covered lands there,
Yeah,
so
it's true. Who knew? There's just one's really
Yeah.
holding it down.
they're gonna manage to get in, but I'm not looking good for Don here, so we'll see how he plays this out.
I mean, he can pitch 2 cards here, or up to 2 cards. Obviously, not wanting to get rid of creativity, but whatever the other cards are in his hand, which I think that's a Fable and maybe a land.
I think it's a bolt.
Oh yeah,
lightning
bolt.
bolt here.
Bolts on this board state, not ideal. I mean, he could ping off another Quaddle, and with assuming Trunk has nothing, which we know clearly he has a Solitude and
Yeah.
has an answer for anything anyway, but with enough of a like hasty Archon, attack, you could get enough things where he has to sacrifice. Like there's some window,
Yeah.
but we know that just on the outside here, looking in,
Yeah.
it won't be good enough.
Yeah. I think Adele might go for it here. Maybe just Arcana it up.
I mean,
Let's see.
there's only so much good in waiting, right? Like
Yeah.
it's the situation's not getting better.
Oh, he's gonna
creeps.
target
Oh,
his
that's
house.
true.
All right.
I did
I
forget
can
that
dig
that
that.
that is another line. Now, it's a risk. He could just hit another Elish
Yeah.
Lord or a Solitude or something.
Or
Oh,
Wall
but
of
he
Omens.
hits a Wall of Omens, which not as good.
Yeah. He's gonna get one here now, so that's gonna be a little bit more manageable. He
Mhm.
does still have that Solitude, so he'll still be able to get that out there. We're gonna go pretty deep, looks like, for this Archon. There's
Okay,
4 in
there it
there,
is.
so there you go. Yeah, so we're gonna see that come in here.
It's like, you want to take a look? That's a
Yeah.
lot of cards.
Do you want to do this to the bottom half of my library?
And it's always
Yeah,
good to
it's
take a
game.
peek just in case, like, Trump plays a lot of Magic. I'm sure that he has a rough idea of what to expect, but you
Yeah.
never know the spicy little one-offs. Like,
No.
I'm sure seeing a Bitter Reunion in that stack there is probably kind of a,
It's like,
oh,
oh, okay.
oh.
It's like, I dig it.
And yeah, I tend to forget that every now and again, creativity does just kind of go for the opponent's creature if it's good enough. And
Yeah.
Elish Norn is a really good target for
Definitely a
it.
good one.
So super heads up play by Aiden. I mean,
Yeah, I'm going to shut that land here. I think Trung's got the double Eternal Witness and Solitude in hand, looks like, so.
yeah, that's just a lot. Speaking of value, it's a lot of good value there.
I'm going to go ahead and ship here. I think Trung's probably looking to pick off that Archon next turn.
Yeah, definitely killing the shaman, taking away another target for creativity, and not letting him have the treasures.
Yeah.
There's a fair amount of reasons to just throw an Ice Fang in there, especially with multiple Ewits. That's just an Ice Fang to get back.
Yeah.
That's like you
Draw some more
really can't
cards.
go wrong. I mean, Ice Fang is also just an insane blocker against Archon. But how about multiple?
I'm going to get this here.
Get Ephemerate.
Alright, let's see. Maybe drew, it looks like he drew a Wall of Omen, so maybe he's looking to pitch cast that Solitude instead of just maybe
Yeah,
advance his
pitch
board a
cast,
little bit more.
Ephemerate.
Yeah,
Because if you wait, what he potentially gets to do is also eat the shaman, or I'm sorry, the Fable flip,
oh yeah.
because then he will have 2 targets for it.
Yeah. Okay, he's gonna go and pitch cast here. Yeah, it looks like that's exactly what he's gonna do. He's gonna try to ephemerate that Solitude
Yeah.
and get that too.
He's like,
This-
so let me stop you from it.
Yeah.
It flips, but like we're just gonna take care of that right now.
Yeah, like I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah. Don't let your opponent have a choice in what they can do. Don't let them draw and hit you with a Spell Pierce or something like that. Because a Spell Pierce would have still caught him right there.
Yeah.
And he did happen to see it specifically in that stack he
Pile.
went through.
Let's see
Now
here.
another Fable. Man, how many Fables have been cast on?
Yeah.
This is only round 3, guys.
I've seen this
Please.
before. Let's see, we're gonna ephemerate. Yeah, we're gonna get that Eternal Witness.
Yeah, I mean, multiple E-Witnesses just
Yeah.
getting back Ephemerates all day long.
Over
And-
and over.
I mean, the Creativity deck has some amount of play in being able to go 1 for 1, but like our opponent's list specifically, there's 2 Fire and Ice, 4 Bolts, which we've already seen at least 1, yes. Prismari Commands, there's 3, we've already seen at least 1 of those. So eventually, what will happen is he won't be able to keep up with this amount of value pressure because he'll just run out of answers.
Yeah, they're just gonna run out of cards eventually. I mean, when so many of your cards in the Cosmic Hunter deck here just draw you additional cards, and also just Eternal Witness
Yeah, just
drawing you
Eternal
actual
Witnesses
spells.
for days. It's incredibly difficult to stop this just cycle of, Ewit, get back my Ephemerate, Solitude, Ewit, whatever you want, essentially, and just keep that cycle going forever. And when Trung's answers specifically have to do with exiling, your persist plane is off. It's
Yeah.
gone.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's just not happening. So, what do? You can. I mean, Fable is good, but it's not good enough to attack through. Even just Ewit is a 2/1.
Yeah.
A block.
It'll
Sure.
block. Sure.
It'll block.
Oh, I'll bring it
That
back.
plays.
I bring it back to Cosmic Rebirth. Put it right into play. Yeah, it's kind of an uptick for Don here, so we'll just kind of see. I think his hand doesn't look too great either. Got
I
a
see a
Boseiju
Boseiju,
mine.
which isn't doing anything on this point.
Oh,
So blow up his own Fable for no value. So
Fish.
I mean, he did find one of the Fire and Ices, so I mean, he could go for killing a Solitude in response to an Ephemerate or something of that nature. But again, that creates this waiting plan, right? Where when do you go for it? You have to kind of wait. And I can see Trung's hand has a Solitude and an Ephemerate and an Ice Fang Quaddle in it.
Yeah.
Like essentially stacked
Yeah.
on dealing with other creatures.
Just want to draw more cards.
He just wants to draw more cards. Now, if Aiden wants to sit here and draw cards, well, you know what? Trong might run out of cards first.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it comes down to that game of attrition where, no one can attack in profitably, who's gonna deck first?
Yeah.
Probably Trong.
Yeah. Most likely.
I don't think he has any way to reset himself with like Teferi's or anything like that. So it's probably a little awkward if it came down to that. But
See.
I would expect that he can just start kind of swinging.
Yeah, he's kind of getting in there. Solitude's going to come in for 4 here with that Exalted from that Noble Hierarch. So, I mean, Trung's got this pretty locked up here.
Yeah.
He's not looking for Don here. I think he did also have Archon, Smart Command in his hand. So,
Which at this point,
no,
I believe
it's
he could basically
Arcs.
just hard cast an Archon. But is that even good enough?
yeah, is that going to do it? I mean, he does have the Ephemerate Solitude. He's got to tap out for that.
Yeah.
And then just being able to just sniper right away with the Solitude.
It's just so strong what Trung is doing. And again, like Aiden not being able to lean into persisting back Archons for additional value really hurts his strategy because 4 Archons is just not as good as 6 to 8 Archons.
Yeah.
Or even a Fable getting to flip and copy Archon. It's just never. Yeah. He's never going to get to keep both in play.
You can't have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you wanted the value? No, I'm the value deck.
No. Yeah. Let's see what Don follows up with here. We see that Bitter Reunion. We'll see if he kind of wants to hold on to that.
It's tricky, right? He's got to be thinking of, do I even want to keep this Fire and Ice? Is it worth pitching it to draw 2 cards, get the Archon, give it haste, Because with enough mana, he can literally get it into play, like, copy it. Like, there's so many things that he can potentially do. But we still, again, know that Trung has an answer with ephemerating his Solitude or just casting the other Solitude in his hand.
Because why not? It's better than ephemerating Solitude, just playing another one.
Oh, and he
does,
he does have 3 up to Fairy, which wouldn't save him from decking out, but is pretty good at stopping your opponent from reacting to your ephemerate targets.
Oh, yeah.
Which just even more so locks up his kind of cycle of, I'm just gonna keep flickering whatever I want, and you can play stuff. But if it's a creature, it's not gonna stay.
Yeah, it's not long for this world, especially with a deck with essentially 4 creatures.
Yeah, I mean, he has 4 Wrenn and 6 in his list, which we have not seen any yet. But I would argue Wrenn and 6 not strong enough to win a game in this board state. Wrenn and 6 can be good.
Yeah.
On turn 2 when you start out and kind of ramp it up, and he's just doesn't have anything to really get value out of here.
Yeah, value seems a little depleted at this point. I mean, you can't afford to be cycling lands.
And I mean, Ewit to get back Elish Norn, you have to be kind of shaking your head at that point, just going, I don't think there's any way for me to draw out of this.
It's not really going anywhere here. He draws a second Fire and Ice here, so...
Yeah, which, I mean, it's okay at best.
Yeah, he does know that he does have an Ephemerate, because he did bring it back with Eternal Witness, if he was remembering that here. So
and see him get the Elish Norn, right? He's like, okay, I have to go for this Archon now while it's good.
Yeah, that was the time.
Yeah. But, I mean, Trung can just get rid of whatever he wants. He doesn't care. He's like, sure, I'll get rid of this. This is fine.
Get rid of that wall. Get rid of that extra Ice Fang. Draw a card here. Looks like we got a Spell Pierce. Probably not really what he was looking to draw with the Teferi on board.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're gonna see that ephemerate coming in here.
And just ephemerate your solitude here.
What Shadon can do about it? He's gonna
Yeah.
say, okay, you got it.
He's
Oh, he's gonna hit the Fable first. He's gonna make an Archon, okay. Ooh, and he's gonna respond. Ooh, wow, okay.
Yeah.
More Solitudes. Gonna hit that Archon too.
yeah. I mean, he's gonna gain a bunch of life here, but I mean, at what cost, really? And I'm sure Trung really didn't want to do it that way because he'd rather have Elish Nord in play, really get the full value of just essentially not wasting the other Solitude because he has to pitch it, to exile instead of actually getting to use it.
Yeah.
Um,
And Trunk's kind of got free reign here now, though. I mean, he's gonna bash in for a 7 here. Kind of look to close this out here.
Yeah. I'm assuming did he not reuse that ephemerate?
I don't believe so.
Huh. It's a little surprising.
Oh no, he hit the Eternal Witness and then just put it back in his hand.
Did he? Oh, okay.
It just went
That
straight
makes
from
sense.
battlefield to hand. Kind of shortcutting here a little bit.
Sure.
Which
Which again, players usually vocalizing a little bit more to each other and stuff that we can't hear,
Yeah.
but when you're trying to pay attention to both people's side of things, it can get a little tricky on our end.
let's see Don draw another creativity here. Let's see if he kind of just makes the same play. Ooh, trying with double ephemerate now.
I mean,
See if
I don't know how you
there.
get through double ephemerate.
Yeah,
You
with
could-
Elish Norn
yeah, with Elish.
and with Ansalt, like,
it's just a lot.
yeah. Trong is getting his cake and he's eating it too.
Yeah, I mean, Aiden at 17, thanks to Trong, essentially.
Yeah.
but what are you doing with that life? Yeah, and
There we go.
Aiden sees the writing on the wall, because at this point, you're not fighting through the Teferi pseudo protection, right? Of if you're gonna do anything to my creatures, it's only at sorcery speed.
Yeah.
And I have say over that. Like I got ephemerates for days here. I'll just show them to you.
Yeah, here you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, sideboard. Let's take a look at Aiden. What do you got, Aiden? What do you got for us now? Well, I guess we can look at Trung's list first. Even though I think he's already favored, but what would you want out of this? I would argue not a ton needs to change.
So I mean, it's just kind of like redundant effects. I mean, because there's a lot of good cards that are good against it. I mean,
Yeah.
Meddling Mages are fine. Elish Norn is great. Force Negation's great. Yeah, Emrakul just seems like a non-bow. I don't think that's really necessary in this
Yeah.
one. I mean, if they creativity your Elish Norn away, and then you hit a Emrakul, it's just like, oh no, I made a big mistake.
Hail. I mean, he probably doesn't expect to do that too often, right? He's probably thinking maybe the Veil of Summers. You've seen Spell Pierces and other things out of your Archon opponent, so Veil of Summer protects from Archon. It protects from a lot of things the Archon deck is doing. As far as options he might want for a sideboard.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just kind of like more optimal effects at this point.
Mhm.
Maybe just another Elish, and then I don't know, just whatever he's feeling, whatever. I mean, he's going to be obviously a lot more familiar with his own deck. So I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sure he probably is pretty familiar with creativity since it's been kind of a boogeyman for a little while.
Yeah,
So
like sideboards are always a little tricky, right? Because like our creativity opponent here has access to 2 Test of Talents,
ooh, that's a good one.
which if he gets to snag one ephemerate, he snags them all. And exiling them significant, against a deck that's like its best card, right? As far as what it wants.
So we're gonna see how they sideboard here. Maybe even he's got 3 Leyline with Voids in there.
Yeah, which could be pretty good in this matchup, considering, a lot of what Trunk's doing is related to manipulating the graveyard in some ways.
Yeah, essentially just shutting off the Eternal Witnesses, because those are pretty good.
Yeah. So I think anything that the creativity deck can do to really manipulate the value engine is ideal.
Okay, checking up. Yeah, I did also see there's the one of Iona sitting here out of a down sideboard too. That's definitely a good one. I mean, just naming white.
Yeah.
Just not having any answers to it.
Yeah, I mean, outside of Solitude, what are you doing?
We can't.
That's
It's
what I'm saying. Like,
no, thank you.
Like, we've already seen he has Teferi, and he
Yeah.
has Solitude,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's like you can have all the Eternal Witnesses you want.
You can have all the 2/1s that you want all day long.
All day long. Whatever you're feeling, you got it.
But yeah, I think you're right. Like some amount of Leyline of the Void seems solid. The Test of Talents, I'd probably be pretty incentivized
Definitely.
just to stop those pesky ephemerates from coming back.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I want to get rid of those. Those are definitely big value cards with, I mean, just flickering to draw, flickering with Eternal Witness.
Yeah, like it's doing all the things. You could also, snag a Cosmic Rebirth. We didn't actually see any get cast that game, I don't think, did we?
No, we did not. That card's been a good one.
The title card.
Yeah.
And we didn't see any Soul Herders either.
No,
What is
no
this?
Soul Herders.
What is this?
Yeah, the two
I feel like I've
staple
been lied
cards.
to. Who named
This is
deck?
just Eternal Witness Ephemerate.
This is just value pile from like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I want to see new cards.
I want to see them. I want to see them played. Especially Cosmic Rebirth. That one is sweet.
No, Aiden being on the play here, much better shot at just a quick creativity play. Trunk's best answer early is to get out an Elish Norn and really lock him down, but that's not a super fast way to do it. He's got some amount of mana, dorks that, like, he could have a turn 4,
Yeah.
even turn 3 with the right situation, depending on his draw. But outside of that, just a quick Solitude on one Archon. I mean, the thing is if he does go for the Iona plan, and his first creativity is Iona,
Yeah.
what do you do?
Yeah. You're in a bad
If
spot
you're on Trunk's side, what do you do?
Yeah.
You just cry a little bit.
Yeah, you could cry a little bit.
Like,
You're
okay.
like,
Like I
game 3.
yeah, the game's officially over.
See a fetch and a tower here. Is that the trend? Oh, that's Aspara's headquarters. All right.
Yeah.
I always get those ones mixed up. The Bant one in the Bant deck. Yes.
The only one he's probably playing.
Yes. Yeah. See double Triumph here.
Just a bunch of tapped lands staring at each other.
Yeah. Just take a couple turns off. It's okay.
Yeah, just let us know we're in it for the long haul, guys.
Yeah. It's funny because I feel like both decks are kind of just trying to do what they do best as soon as possible, but not until turn 3.
Yeah, which I think, Aiden's deck doesn't quite move as fast, right? Like, he has ways to power out some things with, treasures and whatnot to go maybe just a turn ahead, maybe.
Yeah.
But usually it's like he's using those treasures for targets, not for mana.
Yes.
So it's not exactly the same.
We're going to see the Bitter Reunion here.
Oh,
no, it's a
just
Ren
a
6.
Ren and 6.
That is equally as
Where's the new cards, guys? But yeah, I mean, turn 2 Ren 6, exactly where you want it.
Yeah.
Just the value of being able to get your fetch lands back to make sure that you can get your Dwarven Mines to,
Yeah.
100% have at least one target for a creativity is
Over and over again.
probably what you're worried about more than anything else. All right, 2 minutes. Okay,
Now there's a bit of a-
all right, all right.
Yeah.
We're back on track, everybody.
Yeah.
Now, what do you
That's what we
pitch
like
here?
to
Another
see.
land? Yeah.
Understandable.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, he's full of land. So much land.
Yeah. Yeah, Venue Reunion helps with that a lot.
I mean, I just want to see a hasty Archon.
Oh, me too.
Just once.
But we got double Time Warp in Trunk's hand over here.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
that's 2 more than necessary.
Yeah. Yeah, those cards cost 5.
Yeah, it is
Quite a
not a
bit.
cheap thing to do.
Oh. I mean, sometimes it can kind of swing the game here. And
Yeah.
also sometimes it's a 5-man Explore.
Is taking extra turns good?
I've heard it's good.
I've heard it's okay.
I wouldn't know. I never.
You do get to draw more cards from taking the extra turn, so
That's
I'm
true.
pretty sure that's still winning. Play your extra land, so essentially ramp.
Yeah. 5 mana, put a land into play, draw a card. That sounds
Yeah.
great.
Also-
Oh, get an extra combat step.
So what if you go to time? You take those extra turns. There's only that's how you win, right?
Yeah.
Remember the old Emrakul like fights over that? It's
Yeah.
like, all right, who's gonna spin the wheel first? See who gets to take the extra turn.
Thanks to me, it's you. All right, got some modern shuffling here.
Yeah. Adds
Yeah,
at least
every
10
day.
minutes to the clock
Yeah.
overall.
Coming in here. Ooh, drawing that Iona. It's kind of
Man, Trung's
in a
hand
good spot.
looks stacked, but it's just going to take him a minute to actually kind of
yeah,
get it all going.
yeah. Not a lot of time that he has right now.
Mhm.
I mean, Adon's also he doesn't really know what's going on in Adon's hand, but I mean, ideally, like he could literally just fetch Dwarven Mine, creativity here for one, get an Archon, like,
Which I don't
or get
think
an Emrakul.
I think he has the Iona in hand.
He does,
And
yeah, which is
that's
rough.
not where you want her. Super awkward, huh? I mean, there's some world where he can probably find a way to picture. Well, I mean, he has 2 Prismari commands in hand, I think.
Yeah.
So if he finds the persist, a reasonable thing, or not persist, but like he can reasonably create a situation to get something going here.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I think he's gonna want to pop that off. Probably get that Teferi off the board and see
Yeah.
if he makes a treasure. If he gets rid of that Elish Norn. Yeah, he's gonna go ahead and do that draw too.
I mean,
Discard too.
he's got a dwarf. He's probably okay with that.
Yeah. He's chilling
So,
for
yeah,
now.
That's fine.
Not fishing the Iona. He's gonna hold on to that for now.
Okay.
There is no, it looks like Jace in Adon's list, so
No, it definitely doesn't have one in the list. So
no brainstorming that Iona back on top for him, unfortunately. See another Teferi from Trong here. First, not really
he
doing
was
too
ready.
much. Like,
He was ready.
yeah.
Planeswalker battles right now is he had another Teferi. I believe that Aiden also has another like Ren and Six. So it's like
Yeah.
they're just kind of looking at each other. Now Ren 6 right now can just kill Teferi
Yeah.
as it
As it
does,
does.
clearly.
Yeah.
So an easy answer.
Throwing a branch.
Now we know Ewit can get back to Teferi the same as anything else.
Yeah. Let's see what Dan looks like. He might just be shipping here. I mean, he does have that other Prismari command, so maybe he is still looking to pitch that. I mean, maybe he's just kind of waiting until he does get that persist for kind of the guaranteed Iona here. Trying to draw an Elshorn, so let's see if he jams us here. I don't know if he wants to play this
Well,
into some open mana.
It's so I really, as I was saying, I realized like he can't persist specifically because Iona's legendary.
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
No. Unmarked Grave is non-legendary. Persist, you can get legendaries, right?
Persist is non-legendary.
Oh.
So the persist plan doesn't work for like persist works for Arca,
Yeah.
but not for Iona specifically.
Okay.
So
he's essentially stuck with that Iona then.
I was trying to think if he had any way to like reshuffle effects. So I think he might actually just be all in on the eventually I'm gonna hard cast this Iona,
Yeah.
which with enough treasure and stuff you can certainly do. And again, if I mean I don't think Trung has a way to counter it.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't have just a natural like no this isn't gonna happen kind of situation. So like if Aiden can get to the point where he can just hard cast Iona, name white, call it a day. He could probably just win that.
More Quaddles.
But it's kind of awkward though, right? Because Quaddle can just block.
Yeah.
Quaddle's not white.
No. He does have those 3 snow-covered lands now, so he does have that those Death Touchers online.
Yeah. Like enough red and 6 pings and stuff. Like there's 3 Ice Fang. You can kill them all. Here, Prismari command, do 2 damage, make a treasure.
Yeah,
Slowly
seems
but
fine.
surely we can clear
Yeah.
this board away of all these pesky Quaddles.
Yeah. Ren's going down to 1 here.
Okay.
Got that.
Oh.
What he
and
thinks is the way clear. We know that
the
it
mom.
does have Mana Leak hanging out in there, so yeah, definitely gonna get rid of that Elish.
Yeah, there's very little reason that this Elish Norn gets to stay.
Yeah, she's unfortunately not long for this world.
Unless he has a veil somewhere in the end or something like that. I don't know. I can't
Yeah.
see Trunk's hand specifically, but
Such fast shuffling.
there's some... and there's the
Maybe
mana.
here. Let's see.
Which I think he actually does have a force of negation. He did have
Yeah.
but no blue card.
I can't fetch during your own turn.
Oh, that's right. It's
Yeah.
on his turn.
Yeah, you just get to hold on to it. I think
I don't know
he's
why I
just
was
kind of
think-
looking
yeah.
for creativity right now. Like, got all the pieces. The board's
Yeah.
not too bad. It's just like, come on, give me creativity,
Yeah,
please.
His window for it is getting a little awkward, right? Because at a certain point, Chung will establish stuff on the board that he can't deal with.
Yeah.
Fable,
Fable
sure.
coming in, cool, okay.
He has so many targets.
Yeah.
All the targets.
All the targets. And he's got that bit of reunion now, so we can give him haste.
Oh.
Let's see if we get to see it this game. And I give you a little bit of extra card advantage with that Fable
Yeah.
on that chapter 2 next turn. So, I mean, Tron
Maybe
knows so much,
Trunks
so-
just gonna take some extra turns here.
Yeah.
To try to just get some stuff established.
Yeah, he does have those 2 lands untapped though, so maybe Trunks just scared of another mana leak at this point.
Yeah, which I don't remember how many he actually has in the list. Let's see, 2. He has 2, so I mean, 1 down, 1 to go.
Yeah, Trunks is not aware of that though, so.
Oh yeah, this is not an open deck list situation.
Oh, okay,
Which-
he's gonna tap it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, oh, just
Ooh,
1 and 1.
pop off those Ice Fangs. Yeah, Time Warp's not quite as good if it's just a, Oh, he's gonna pitch a Time Warp, okay.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, saving 2 Ice Fangs is
Yeah, it's not
significant.
bad. Yeah, it's gonna kill that Ren and 6. If he does pop up one of the Time Warps next turn, he'll be able to kill Ren and 6, but still leave them up.
Yeah, that
with
is
lockers if he wants
downside
to,
of,
so.
of minusing Ren and 6 right is
Yeah.
making it more susceptible to actually dying to what's left in play.
Yeah. We gotta see how he plays it out here. Still pretty close. I mean, essentially just like a creativity here just kind of gets there.
Yeah.
Trunk doesn't have a lot of answers to one of those right now, so that's what he's gonna go ahead and do is get off that Ren and
And
6.
there we go. All right.
Unbeknownst to him, he has another Ren and 6 in here.
Yeah. Oh, Wall of Moments.
So
Draw
well,
cards.
Draw
The
land.
value.
Play Time Warp.
Oh,
There's
he
land,
did.
taken
He
2.
did find it.
That's what he's trying to do here.
He's like, yeah, I'll do that again.
It's like Spell Pierce it.
No, you won't.
There we go. Gonna get that.
That is
extra
that
turn
is
here.
a spell pierce test, right?
Yeah.
I feel like if you got one, you're gonna use it.
Oh yeah, because if he goes land, if he draws a land here, he can Ewit.
Oh, and
And then
he did
Time Warp
he
again.
did find an ephemerate
Yeah.
and the Ewit, so
Yeah.
like he actually has a pretty decent turn of events here, as he can get his Elishnorn back, and then also be able to. Well, he can also.
Well, he does have an Aether Gust that Aiden does, so
Yeah.
he can get that Ewit out of there if he wants. Just put it back on top and not worry about it.
That's fair.
We got another Wall of Omens. Having flashbacks from round 1. See if he go ahead and does that here. He's gonna play
I
this
mean,
Ewit.
there's only so many targets, so he's got to go for it, right? Like Aether Gust only really hits Ewit as like a significant target.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, sure, you could argue he could hit an Ice Fang, but like we've already seen
Yeah.
the 3 in play, so it's like, what?
Yeah,
I'm just gonna hold
sure.
it for the last one.
Yeah. You're like, I'll put it on top. It will replace itself next turn. Alright, we're gonna see this draw 2 here from Fable, so let's see if he can hit a creativity. I'm sure he's probably just looking, yeah, let's just give it. Maybe he's just trying to hold on to that Iona just because he doesn't want him to know.
Well, I mean, he can hard cast Iona on
Yeah.
in some matters. Oh, but it looks
Yeah,
like he
he's gonna
just
ship
gave
it.
up on it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, he's not that far away from it. I'm actually a little surprised that he decided to give up a card that holds so much value.
Oh, and 3 treasure tokens, though. That is
I
pretty
mean,
significant.
He
'cause
has
they
a
didn't know
he has a
about it.
shaman that could attack this turn.
Yeah.
It gets at least 1.
Let's see that other rank 6 come in. Thinking he's just got a whole bunch of lands in hand right now. I saw, it looks like Blood Crypt.
Get a
Let's see
little
if I can-
ephemerate action.
Dwarven Mine, Bloodstained Mire, Blood Crypt looks like is in his hand.
Yeah, like he gave up the possibility of an Iona at some point for
Mhm.
more land, which, you know, what are you gonna do? Like, you
Yeah.
can't control what you draw
Yeah.
in this matchup, but it just feels a little bad, right? That like he had such potential,
Yeah.
had such
Yeah,
power.
it was there. It was there. You're gonna see that ephemerate coming off
Yeah.
here.
Ephemerate this wall. Wall of Omen's definitely not attacking.
Yeah.
Not like our round 1.
No. Definitely not this time. I think Trong's just trying to hit his other land here so he can Ewit, get back that Time Warp, and then kind of go from here. I mean, I don't know if he wants to do that at this point just because he no longer has that ephemerate.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's a little awkward because like there's got to be some incentive to also just maybe want to get back Elishnorn and like try to get that engine going that way.
yeah.
Which I don't have Trung's list in front of me. I'm assuming there's 4 Elishnorns.
No,
but
he had
is
one in the main and one in the side.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah. So I
So
presumed he sided in one, so he probably has 2 in the main.
sure.
But I mean, really, you essentially only need 1 if you get to draw it.
Yeah.
He did get to draw in both games, so
Like it
it's pretty
creates
good.
the big value engine, right? So it's like if he could get her back, get her on the field, it turns off the Archon. Like it just it requires so much more from Aiden. Now, I mean,
Yeah.
he does have Bitter Reunion. He can still make stuff happen with hasty Archons, but you know, if Trong has even like one situation where he can get a Solitude out with Elish Norn in play, like that eats two Archons straight
Yeah.
out. They're just gone forever.
Yeah, it looks like Tron's going to get back that Ephemerate, set up his next turn here. So, unless Aiden draw something, then this game's probably going to be over. There's big possibility that if Aiden doesn't draw the creativity here, he's just going to kind of pass, and then
Yeah.
Tron's just going to go, all right, Ephemerate, I'm going to take infinite turns.
And it's not that Aiden hasn't been casting cards. You know,
Yeah.
he's cast a lot of
Yeah,
cards.
drawn a lot, just not great draws in
Yeah,
this match.
like it just seems wild that he hasn't hit a creativity yet.
Yeah, he can't hardcast an Archon right now, too, so...
As somebody who's played a lot of Greasefang, I can tell you sometimes the one card that you want, the name of the
names.
deck, and you're like, oh, sure, I'll just never see it.
Go for it.
I mean, it is still 4 cards out of 60, so sometimes you just don't see it.
Yeah. That's the stars don't align.
Yeah. Which right now,
There we go. There's Hatchet.
yeah, I was like, he's just
not some good.
he just
draws.
wasn't hitting it, and like to be flooding at that point of the game while you see Trung just drawing extra cards
Yeah.
and building a board state that's going to be hard to surpass. You gotta feel just a little like you're drowning there, right?
Yeah,
like,
a little distraught. It's like, oh man, like there's so many outs, so
like,
many
even
draws.
with an Archon that's like, what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
I'll sack a wall.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's stacking 04?
Yeah.
Oh.
You wait, I'll get back. Like
Yeah,
it's just
sure.
yeah, like he's just really not. It's just not doing enough at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, really interesting matchup. Super cool to see Cosmic Herder.
Yeah.
Which again, did we see a Cosmic Rebirth or a Soul Herder in
Uh,
any of those games? I think no.
Nil. None.